Alright, this video is of the modified Wii unit, which is right here, and please excuse my current work area. I've been kind of busy, but and we have our Wiimote with nunchuck. And give me 1 second, I'm going to swap hands here. And this is basically how the layout is going to be for each system. And here you see we have all the games. I think I have to kind of hold this thing sideways when doing this. Yeah, it shows you how well I'm controlling it here. There we go. All right. Why everything just went out of focus. Sorry about that. And this has all of the Game Boy Advance games, and then if you go up one level you can switch between the Game Boy Color ROMs and regular Game Boy ROMs, but just for all intents and purposes we'll do a random here. A lot of these games I am going to recommend. Let me see if I can put this on a stand. Give me 1 second. I won't keep it there, but alright, there we go. So, with using the nunchuck and the Wiimote itself, we can go ahead and go through. A lot of these I do recommend using a GameCube controller for, which unfortunately is not included, mainly because I never really include them. But they can be picked up pretty cheaply nowadays. Okay. Just trying to get my... Here we go. And it's going to be the same thing with the Super Nintendo. Let's do a random here. Glad you get the idea. And since you just responded to my email, Bill, this video is for you specifically, so you know that, this is a current video, and it is the current system. Let's go ahead and load a ROM here. And for this, you will always load from the SD, because that's where all of these are. And let's just do Banjo-Kazooie. And with this, it's going to load it into the memory, and then you just hit play game. And like I mentioned to you before, and I'm sure that you're aware, Nintendo 64 emulation has always been questionable at best. A lot of the games do run very decently on the Wii, but that being said, I'm sure that you will run across a few of them that will not run as well as you'd like them to. But yeah, you get the idea with that as well. Where is my... There we go. That's... There we go. Alright. We're going to save USB Loader GX for last, just because that's where you're going to find the vast majority of... well, that's where you'll find all of the Wii and GameCube games that are loaded on here. But you did mention about the Sega specifically, so... Or the... excuse me, Sonic games specifically. So... We're going to go ahead and load up... Oh, wait. Here we go. Mega Drive. Yeah, and I don't know why it does this, but if it brings you to this particular menu, it should just save the directory. But here we have the Genesis ROMs and the Game Gear and Master System, but I'd imagine that he's probably going to be more interested in the Genesis ROMs. Or at least the Sonic ones. So let's see here. Alright, yeah, we have Sonic and Knuckles, then Sonic and Knuckles, or Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic and Knuckles, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 plus blah 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 blah. And then we have all of the... But let's just do... Sonic 3D Blast was actually always one of my favorites. Alright, just skip the intro. Yeah, and again, for for some of the retro games, I do recommend seeing if you can pick up a GameCube controller. They're very cheap nowadays. It's just I generally just don't stock them, or else I would have included one. All right. Okay. Yeah, next to the system menu. Alright, so now that we're pretty much basically down to the very last part of the presentation here, this external hard drive that you see on top, wonderful little custom design 3D printed hard drive caddy, this actually plugs into the back of the console. Always have it plugged in on the bottom USB port, because Nintendo does this wonky thing where its USB ports do not live up to regulation standard. So one of the USB ports does not put out as much power as the other one. So we always want it to be in the bottom one, which is drawing the most power. Alright. So now if I can get the... There we go. Go into USB Loader GX. And I do apologize for my dog barking in the background. It's going to go through, initialize, read the USB drive that's plugged in there, and then bring us into this screen, which it will sit like that for a second, but then bring you to all of the Wii and GameCube games, altogether 240 of them. Let's see here. And I also do have some Sonic games loaded on here. And let's just go ahead and load one of them up. When it brings you to this screen, just go ahead and hit on the little disc icon. And it will launch us directly into the Wii game itself.
Sega.
Well, you get the main idea. And then the one more thing that I do want to go over with you is the GameCube games, which again will be loaded from the exact same place in USB Loader GX. GameCube games, unfortunately, will require a GameCube controller, mainly because there are not enough buttons to map to a Wiimote itself. But this part of it, actually, a lot of people get tweaked out because they think the system froze when it really didn't. It just takes a little bit of time for the GameCube games to initiate because it's actually pulling from a different program called Nintendon't. USB Loader GX is just the front end for it. Let me just see if I can... Okay, so here's a GameCube one, Spider-Man. Same thing, we're going to go ahead and hit A on the disc. Oh, actually, it popped up a lot more quickly this time. Cool. But that splash screen you just saw, that's the Nintendon't loader going directly through. These also can be accessed. Interesting. I guess this is a PAL game. I'm going to see if I can go ahead and remove that one before, because, you know, that's not cool to have to see it in... And in order to get back into the USB Loader GX screen from there, you would just go ahead and hit the home button on the Wiimote and it'll bring it back in. Otherwise, you'll have to power off the console completely and turn it back on. But let's do SpongeBob. GameCube game, just to show you that they're not all black and white. But there you have it. And in the event that you don't use that home button to go back to the USB loader, like I said, you will have to go ahead and shut it down completely. And as I had stated before, if you did want to run GameCube games directly from the main menu, you can, but the graphic user interface really isn't nearly as nice as USB Loader GX is. I'll show you in 2 seconds here. Alright, here's Nintendon't. Okay. And once we're in here, it's going to ask you SD or USB. You will always choose USB because that's where the games are. And then, like I said, the graphic user interface really is not as nice, but it just has everything listed out in here. And for all intents and purposes, let's just launch Crazy Taxi so you can see that it will still launch from either location. And there we have it. And I just went ahead and launched back to the Wii menu again with the with the home button located right there in the middle. But yeah, that's basically it. So thank you for choosing PQ Customs Mod Jobs for your modified console needs.